Most people think cats see the world in black and white, like an old movie or a security camera from the 90s. It makes sense. They have that mysterious, calculating stare, like they're plotting something. Maybe world domination, maybe just how to trip you on the stairs. But the truth is, their vision is way more colorful than we used to believe. It's not quite the same as ours, though, and that's where things get interesting. Imagine for a second that you wake up one morning and the world looks different. Some things pop out while others fade into the background. That bright red shirt you love, it's suddenly kind of dull. The blue car across the street, somehow it's the most noticeable thing around. This isn't a weird dream. It's how your cat sees every single day. Their world isn't black and white, but it's not a rainbow either. It's something in between, a unique color spectrum designed for survival, hunting, and maybe just a little bit of staring into space, like they've uncovered the secrets of the universe. But what colors do they actually see? And does it change the way they experience life? By the end of this video, you'll not only understand your cat's vision, but you might even start seeing the world a little differently yourself. For years, people believed cats saw the world the way a detective in an old noir film would: shadows, silhouettes, and endless shades of gray. It was an easy assumption to make. Cats are night hunters. They prowl in the dark. They have those eerie, glowing eyes that suggest they're seeing something we can't. So naturally, someone along the way decided they must be completely colorblind. But science has a way of ruining a perfectly good mystery. When researchers took a closer look, probably with a cat judging them from across the room, they discovered that feline vision is much more complex. Cats can see colors, just not the same ones we do. The idea that they only see black and white is about as accurate as calling a goldfish a deep thinker. The real story? Cats have a limited color range, but within that range, they see the world just fine. The trees outside aren't just dark blobs. Their favorite toy isn't a meaningless shape. And when they stare at you like you've deeply disappointed them, it's not because you're wearing a gray sweater, it's because they're a cat, and that's just what they do. If cats had a favorite sports team, their jersey colors would definitely be blue and yellow. That's because those are the two colors they see best. Everything else? It's kind of a blur, like trying to pick out socks in a dimly lit room. Humans have 3 types of color receptors in their eyes: red, green, and blue, giving us a full, rich spectrum of color. Cats, they only have 2. They're missing the red receptor, which means the world through their eyes is a little less vibrant and a lot more selective. Reds and greens tend to blend together into dull shades of brown or gray, while blues and yellows stand out like neon signs in the night. This explains why your cat will ignore the bright red toy you bought with so much love and effort, but go absolutely feral over that random blue bottle cap rolling across the floor. To them, blue is electric, while red is just there. Even the lush green leaves outside probably look a little muddy. But those yellow flowers on your table? They're shining like a beacon. So if you're wondering why your cat seems completely uninterested in certain things, it might not be attitude, it might just be bad color coordination. If you could swap eyes with your cat for a day, the world would look familiar, but strangely off. Colors wouldn't disappear entirely, but they'd lose some of their richness, like an old photo that's faded over time. Blues and yellows would still pop, but reds and greens, they'd be muted, blending into a sea of dull browns and grays. It wouldn't be like watching a black and white movie. It'd be more like watching a movie where someone messed with the color settings and forgot to turn them back. Humans are trichromatic, meaning we see the world through 3 color receptors: red, green, and blue. That's why we get to enjoy a full rainbow, where every shade has depth and contrast. Cats, on the other hand, are dichromatic. They only have 2 receptors, so their rainbow is missing a few key pieces. Think of it like a box of crayons where half the colors are gone, but the blues and yellows are still going strong. But before you start feeling bad for them, remember, what cats lack in color, they make up for in other ways. While we get to bask in the beauty of a sunset, they get to see in low light with crystal clarity. While we rely on bright, vivid hues to make sense of the world, cats rely on movement and contrast. They're not missing out. They're just tuned into a different channel. A Cats' eyes weren't built for appreciating art or admiring a sunset. They were built for survival. Every detail of their vision, from the colors they can see to the ones they can't, is a result of thousands of years of evolution, sharpening their ability to hunt, hide, and thrive in the wild. Unlike humans, who evolved to navigate a colorful daytime world, cats are crepuscular hunters, most active at dawn and dusk. In low light, color doesn't matter as much as movement. Their eyes needed to prioritize detecting the slightest twitch of a mouse tail over distinguishing between red and green berries. That's why they have more rod cells in their eyes than cone cells. Rods are great for seeing in dim light, while cones help with color. Cats made the evolutionary trade-off, giving up vibrant color vision in exchange for night vision that would make a spy jealous. But here's the best part. Cats' pupils can expand like floodgates, letting in as much light as possible. In the dark, they can see up to 6 times better than humans. That's why they can navigate a pitch-black room like a ninja while you're tripping over furniture. To them, life isn't about a full spectrum of color. It's about spotting the tiniest flicker of movement in the shadows and pouncing before their dinner even knows what hit it. If you've ever bought your cat a bright red toy, only for them to ignore it completely and chase a crumpled receipt instead, it's not personal. Well, maybe it is, but more likely it's because red barely registers in their vision. Cats are naturally drawn to colors they can see best, blue and yellow. These shades stand out in their world like neon signs, while reds and greens fade into the background. A red ball might look dull and unremarkable, but a blue one? That's prime hunting material. A yellow string wiggling across the floor is irresistible, while a green one might not even catch their attention. This explains why some cats go wild over a blue blanket or a yellow toy mouse while ignoring other objects completely. It's not just their mood, it's their eyesight. Even in food bowls, bedding, and scratching posts, the colors that stand out most to them are the ones their eyes are wired to recognize. So if you're looking to truly grab your cat's attention, skip the reds, greens, and oranges. Go for blue. Go for yellow. Or just give them the bottle cap they've been obsessed with all along. Knowing how cats see the world isn't just an interesting fact, it can actually change the way you interact with them. If you've ever wondered why your cat ignores certain toys, seems startled by things that don't faze you, or always chooses the most inconvenient spot to sit, their vision might be the answer. Start with their toys. If you want to grab their attention, go for blue or yellow instead of red or green. That flashy red laser pointer? They don't actually see it as red. It just creates sharp contrast against their surroundings, which is why they love the chase. Want them to actually notice that expensive cat bed you bought? Try picking one in a shade they can actually see. Then there's their environment. Cats rely on contrast more than color, so if their food bowl blends in with the floor, they might have a harder time finding it. A blue or yellow bowl against a darker surface can make mealtime more inviting. And let's talk about their infamous random zoomies. A lot of their movement-based instincts come from how they perceive the world. Sudden motion jumps out at them, while still objects, especially in colors they struggle with, might as well be invisible. That's why they might completely ignore a toy sitting still, but come to life the second it moves. Understanding how your cat sees doesn't just explain their quirks, it lets you communicate with them on their level. Their world isn't as colorful as ours, but within it, every movement, every flicker of light, every carefully chosen toy means something. And when you see things from their perspective, it all starts to make a lot more sense. Cats might not see the world the way we do, but their vision is perfectly designed for their needs. They don't need a full rainbow when they've got precision night vision, lightning-fast reflexes, and an eye for movement that keeps them one step ahead of everything, including you. So the next time your cat ignores a red toy, gets startled by something you didn't even notice, or locks onto a random blue object like it holds the secrets of the universe, you'll know why. Their world isn't black and white, but it's not a painting either. It's a carefully tuned system built for hunting, surviving, and of course, judging your every move from across the room. If you found this fascinating, let us know what colors your cat reacts to the most in the comments. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Klawsome.